Tower defense games are fun. With the variety of choices you have at your fingertips, there's no shortage of fans coming to enjoy the genre as they pick their game. Whether it be the large Bloons Tower Defense 6, the classic Kingdom Rush, or even one of the many well-known faces of the genre, Plants vs. Zombies. The point I'm trying to make with bringing up these titles is that fans of the genre come from a lot of backgrounds, be it from the Flash era to the official releases on storefronts like Steam or Epic, but, correspondingly, there is another gaming platform that houses fans of tower defense games, Roblox. The state it's currently in isn't ideal, so to say, but it has some standout experiences from the developers who painstakingly make it all run on Roblox Studio. Tower Defense Simulator comes to mind when discussing Roblox tower defense game communities, being inspired by another classic TD game, Tower Battles. It's currently the biggest tower defense game on the platform, with it having stuck through years of grueling development and a fan base that keeps coming back with every update. Its quality has only gotten better and better with each new update, and that has its staying power as you help the TDS organization in fighting zombies of different shapes, sizes, and elements. Tower Defense X is another TD game that comes to mind, another tower defense game that aims to rival TDS, with its impressive quality and unique gameplay loop on release thanks to several beta tests before it went public. It garnered quick success and also regularly keeps up its updates, staking you as one of the commanders of the GDA, leading your troops to shoot up undead with different shapes, sizes, and sometimes they even shoot guns at you. Huh. Okay, well I guess that isn't a blatant dichotomy, but they are a little similar. Alright, looking at the list, I guess we can also mention that... Wait, did I order a bulldozer? Okay! Ow! Right. Forgot that Roblox is also home to several anime tower defense games. Whew, okay, let's see what they're made of. Anime Vanguards is the main proprietor of a subgenre of Roblox tower defense games dubbed as Anime Tower Defense. It features numerous characters from your favorite video games and anime, and all you need to do is get super lucky to get some of the best characters hard-earned Robux can buy. Outside of the visual quality and the rather unique passives mechanics slapped onto each character, it's a very grindy game that I wouldn't recommend you to get into unless you either have a boatload of free time or you're genuinely that curious. Or you have the money to spend and you need some hole to dump it all into. Anime Last Stand is another anime tower defense game. It features numerous characters from your favorite video games and anime, and all you need to do is get super lucky to get some of the best... Wait, isn't this the same as Anime Vanguards? Hold on, let me check. Oh. Well, it is different in one aspect. The grind is, somehow, even more terrible! Every other update invalidates the former newest units, and sometimes you can't even beat the modes everyone's doing because you can't get lucky enough to roll the stupid trait that gives your anime character 1,000 times more damage! Entrepreneur, I wonder what that gives. Oh, what's that? Money? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, ever since they reworked Celestial Techniques, it's just, why would you go for... Okay, what? I got... Huh? I gotta do another one! Oh, okay, fine, hit me. Anime World Tower Defense is yet another anime tower defense game. The quality isn't up to par like Anime Last Stand or Anime Vanguards, but it offers cool things like a hunger mechanic for your units when you have to feed them food so they actually defend for you, or even more tedious grinding to get your units up to their fullest potential. Shit. Oh look, Isak from Limbus Company.
소개는 이상이요.
All this to say, there's not a lot of variety with tower defense games on Roblox. Or to put it more accurately, Roblox itself isn't exactly pushing more creative and unique tower defense games to people's homepages. Sure, I can prattle on about, oh, all you really need is Tower Defense Simulator if you're gonna stick to a tower defense game, but I'm just not that kind of person to be content with recommending people the same thing that others probably have already recommended. Which which is why I'm making this video on this game that I found on my homepage. Hi, I'm Mari. You might have seen my only video on this channel to be a Goodbye Singing cover with a friend of mine years back, but I swear I'm more than just a singing voice with a crappy mic. Most of the Roblox tower defense games I've listed so far are games I've already spent hours on, and I'm probably not going to stop spending time on them because of sunk cost fallacy and the fact that I missed on the Wonderland Tedo skin for Commander and TDS and I need to make up for lost time. Anyway, with my credibility flashed all on the screen periodically, let me introduce you to this wonderfully neat game I found. Retribution. Or if you want to be more grand, the Divine Retribution. What, it says so on one of the thumbnails. Retribution is a retro-style tower defense game made by Dark Sun Inc. Aside from it being rather simplistic in design, before you can even start exploring the game's hub world and UI, it throws you into a tutorial right away to help you understand its mechanics.
We're surrounded! We need to hold this line!
Okay. Okay. So...
Quickly! Place your infantry in clear line of the path!
Yep, we already have a staple of tower defense games in front of us. Aside from the voice acting and it having a filter to sell that retro style, the game already makes one of its mechanics clear. Your little guys have line of sight, just like in BTD6 or TDX. Obstacles can, and will, block your unit's vision of the track, leading you to think a little more carefully about how you want to place them in the first place. You also have a hotbar on the right hand side of your screen. For now, it only displays your venerable commander's hat as a vanity item and a bandage. This bandage will be useful throughout the entire game. After it tells you about upgrading your units and hidden enemies, you're left to defend against the increasing number of enemies with just your infantrymen. Don't mind the crispy blue switches in the background, there's a max upgrade button that you utilize by pressing Z. I didn't utilize it because my muscle memory prefers to spam the crap out of E. Hold the line! I can't let that through! Oh, ah, crap. Oh, shit, they're dead. Well, you failed to hold the castle. Your infantrymen are dead. But the game isn't done yet, throwing you into the second phase of the tutorial.
Assault inside the trench. A huge wave is approaching.
After sitting down your units, this clip will speak for itself. It's king.
Heads up, we've got guns as well.
Oh, crap.
Soldiers and marksmen are inbound. Marksmen can one-shot most of your troops. Place down base, or cheap troops prevent your better troops from dying.
I love this. In no simpler terms, the game teaching the player how to bait enemy attacks is a really nice addition. Though I did wish it had a little addendum that you can sell your units if you're too low on health so you can at least get refunded some of the money you put into upgrading them, as if you let them die naturally, you don't get any money back for their death.
We aren't done yet. Their waves are unending.
Alright.
Hold men.
Hold men. Hold men? Alright. Say less. What? As we lose the second segment, we're now in the final part of the tutorial.
Hurry! Upgrade and place as many troops as you can. We need to hold at all costs.
Okay. It gives you a metric ton of money and access to two of the most expensive units available. A tower you unlock after beating a state of the campaign, and a cheap tower to be used as bait. The map is also unique, with it having multiple paths that enemies can come from. But I have to say that one of the designated sentry spots is not ideal whatsoever since it gets blocked by nearly everything in range. Thankfully, mortars having insane range remedies this gripe. After dealing with the wave, the game then introduces the thing that makes Retribution really special, in my opinion.
Enemy artillery detected. They will fire at you.
Like they'll fire at me.
Make sure to keep on your feet. Dodge attacks by walking or dashing out.
Wait. Oh! At any given point in the game, artillery and enemies will hurl attacks to where you're currently standing, dealing damage to you specifically. Some attacks can damage your units if you're too close to where the artillery is going to hit you, but that can be fixed by, well, not standing near your towers like how I usually do in these recordings. If you die, don't worry, it's not game over. You have 6 lives to burn through on solo. One of this game's inspirations is Ultra Kill, and it shows because on the bottom left corner of the UI, you have both your health bar and a stamina bar. The stamina bar is used for dashes, simply press Control on your keyboard and you'll zip forward, just like that blue Nikon from the game with Gianni Matragrano in it. While dealing with the last dense horde, artillery bombs your entire location and you can't move an inch, forcing you to tank several thousands of artillery shells that cause a cutscene to play. Huh. Be not afraid. The pain you felt does not belong to you. It kinda does now, thank you. Ringing. The nightmare behind their mind. The melody of their oblivion. The play has begun. When your facade falls, when their fate seems to be at an end, heed my words. When you hear your name, do not
Commander!
answer.
Stay with us, Commander!
Wait. Hi. Hello. God.
Alive!
Yep.
We need to fall back. If we continue from here, we'll lose hundreds more troops.
No, don't worry.
I understand your frustration, but we need you alive.
Bro, I kinda wanna bring the fight to them, bro. Now you can start messing around with the lobby in Homeworld. Get your achievements for completing the tutorial, click this button to customize your appearance, hats, faces, and all, and finally, head into the shop to find... Oh shit, they have captains?! Like in BTD6, Retribution has its own hero units called captains. You won't be able to equip them until you've beaten the third stage of the story mode, but I'll tell you about the first one you will be able to afford. Officer Elijah
Ilya the sniper.
She's the woman who picked you up in the cutscene prior, and she's stupid good for her price. Like other games that employ the hero unit mechanic, she gains experience by dealing damage and killing enemies, getting the ability to passively spawn units on the track, which have variance the more she's leveled, a banner that increases the firing speed of every unit within the area you place it down on, and even calling a napalm airstrike. The airstrike comes out too slow for you to just directly call it at an enemy's current location, especially if they're fast, so you need to predict where the enemy will be, accounting for the time it takes for the plane to fly over and open up a great ball of fire on the track. The normal units you have at your disposal aren't slouches either, as every single one has its uses, ranging from the high damaging and high DPS bullet type towers like Infantry, Assault, Rifleman, and Sentry, the explosive power of Mortar and Grenadier, to the only melee tower I own in the game, Wastelander. The others have their parallels from other tower defense games on Roblox, but Wastelander is a bit special. A mix of Slammer from TDX and Gladiator from TDS, Wastelander is a phenom of high damage and crowd control. He saved both my games on 1-2 and 1-3 just from his ability alone, Ground Slam. On Wastelander's final upgrade, Rules of the Outskirts, he gains the Ground Slam ability, dealing 1000 damage to every enemy in his range, plus an extra 4% of their health tacked on as more damage. The great thing about this game is that the abilities are instantly up the moment you upgrade them, so you don't need to wait a little bit after upgrading a unit to pop their ability. So you can imagine how I beat the game's 1-2 and 1-3 levels if I don't miss my my Ground Slam. There. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, you get to do this after beating the first stage.
I mean, at least it kept the low life connotation.
So, remember what I said about this game being inspired by Ultra Kill? Well, it's not just in dashing around avoiding blows from the boss and enemies on the track, but after you beat the first stage of the story mode, you unlock the Executor, a sword that allows you to parry back the enemy's attacks. At most, it actually deals heavy damage and stunts for a brief period, allowing your units to mop up after the bloody mess you made of their faces. At the least, you'll avoid taking damage and still being eligible for the game's no-hit achievement on the last two stages. Though the off-map artillery is unparryable, that's what your legs are for. Retribution is fun, but I also can't undermine just how intense the gameplay is at times. Juggling both dodging and deflecting attacks and keeping your towers healthy enough to not die is a monumental mission that heavily tests your multitasking skills as you progress into the game's third stage. It really feels like you're on the battlefield and the enemies recognize you as the thing keeping them from getting to your base. I haven't seen other TD games do this, but for my first exposure to such a game mechanic, this is the best first impression I could have ever gotten. It still has its rough edges, but that's just me not being used to how simplistic this game looks and feels. I've beaten the first 3 stages on solo, and aside from the first, and maybe the second stage, the third stage had me scrambling just to not have me and my units die at the same time. As my fairest rating imaginable, this is a solid 9 out of 10. introducing a limited time tower and a new game mode playable on all available stages. This game mode doesn't give you any more coins to spend on units or cosmetics, but it does grant more EXP and gives every normal enemy a dumb party hat and a chance to explode. Bosses also get a visual makeover for the pizza party mode, with the funniest one being...
This should be good, right?
Is that Freddy Fazbear? A 100% recommend to try out the game, even with a few friends, since it allows up to 4 people in one game. Just be sure to help each other out in patching up your units and avoiding attacks. And not baiting the artillery to kill your AFK friend. I don't have a clip of it, but like, it'll be really funny. If you watched to the end of this video, thank you so very much actually. I was supposed to make this video months ago as my output for a college class, but I got sidetracked by other things in life like my mental health being shot in non-existence, and stuff like that. If you like how I do things here, I'm open to checking out other small games on Roblox and making videos on them too. Just put your suggestions down in the comments below. Hopefully you got a laugh out of this or want to check out Retribution now that I've rambled about it for however long this video is. Thanks again and have a lovely day. Or night. I don't care.